Welcome to the Audiobook Chamber. Today, we step into the quiet architecture of change, the kind built not through force, but through small decisions that accumulate over time. Atomic Habits by James Clear reveals a powerful truth. Transformation isn't a single moment of inspiration, but a series of tiny actions, repeated with intention, until they reshape the very structure of your life. This is a journey into identity, systems, and the invisible patterns that guide who we become. A reminder that the smallest habits, the ones easy to overlook, easy to dismiss, are often the ones that carry the greatest power. As you listen, allow each idea to slow your thoughts, sharpen your awareness, and remind you that progress is always within reach. Let us begin, because true wealth begins in the mind. Change feels overwhelming when we imagine it must arrive in a single dramatic moment. But Atomic Habits reminds us that transformation rarely happens through sudden breakthroughs. It grows quietly through small, deliberate improvements. A 1% shift each day, a single better choice, one repeated action. These seemingly insignificant steps compound into extraordinary results over time. Giant leaps are rare, but small steps, repeated with consistency, build unstoppable momentum. Clear shows that real success is not born from intensity, but from accumulation. Like drops of water carving through stone, your tiny habits shape your direction long before the world sees your results. Progress is slow until it's sudden, invisible until it becomes undeniable. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And your systems are built, strengthened, and sculpted by the tiny habits you choose every single day. Most people try to change their lives by chasing outcomes, losing weight, earning more, becoming organized. But James Clear uncovers a deeper, more transformative path. Real change begins with identity. Instead of asking, "What do I want to achieve?" ask, "Who do I want to become?" Because when identity shifts, behavior follows. A writer doesn't wait for inspiration, a writer writes. An athlete doesn't negotiate with discipline, an athlete trains. A healthy person doesn't force good choices, they simply act in alignment with who they believe they are. Every small habit becomes a subtle vote for your future self. Each repetition strengthens a new internal narrative. And over time, these tiny actions accumulate into a self-image rooted in capability rather than doubt. Your identity is not a fixed story. It is a pattern continually rewritten through behavior. Change your actions, and you reshape the person you believe yourself to be. Change your identity, and lasting transformation becomes inevitable. Every habit, whether it elevates you or undermines you, is guided by a simple neurological loop. James Clear distills this loop into the 4 laws of behavior change, a blueprint for reshaping your life at the behavioral level. Q. Make it obvious. Your environment triggers your actions. What you see, you do. Craving. Make it attractive. Habits stick when your brain associates them with pleasure or identity. Response. Make it easy. Friction destroys consistency. The simpler the action, the more likely you repeat it. Reward. Make it satisfying. Your mind seeks closure. A satisfying finish tells the brain, do this again. To build a habit, work with these laws. To break one, invert them. Make cues invisible, cravings unattractive, responses difficult, and rewards unsatisfying. This framework is not about forcing willpower or relying on motivation. It is about design. When your systems make good habits obvious, easy, and rewarding, you stop battling yourself. You start flowing toward the person you intend to become. Your brain follows patterns. Shape the patterns, and you shape your life. Motivation rises and fades, but environment is constant. James Clear reminds us that the spaces we move through each day, our desks, kitchens, bedrooms, and digital devices, quietly shape our behaviors long before we make a conscious choice. A bowl of fruit placed within reach encourages healthier decisions. A book on your pillow invites nighttime reading. A phone left visible pulls you into distraction without permission. We often assume we need more discipline, more willpower, more internal strength. But Atomic Habits teaches the opposite. You don't need to be stronger, you need to design smarter. Shape your surroundings so the habits you want become the easiest actions available. Reduce friction, remove temptation, and let the environment carry part of the weight. This is the hidden architecture of growth, the quiet redesign of your space so that better choices become the natural ones, not the forced ones. Big goals often collapse under their own weight because they demand massive effort from the very beginning. James Clear flips the script. Start small, start simple, and start smart. Want to read more? Read just one page. Want to exercise? Commit to just 2 minutes. The emphasis is not on intensity, it's on identity. Each small action is a vote for the person you wish to become. Consistency becomes the engine of transformation. Momentum builds quietly, imperceptibly, until it carries you farther than sheer willpower ever could. Success is rarely about doing more at the start. It's about doing just enough that you never stop. Atomic Habits teaches that growth is a series of small, deliberate steps. When you honor the small, the big follows naturally. The journey isn't explosive, it is cumulative, quiet, and profound. The art of starting so small it feels effortless, yet powerful enough to change everything. Human behavior follows the path of reward. We repeat what feels satisfying, enjoyable, or desirable. James Clear shows that to create lasting change, we must make our habits appealing. One practical method is temptation bundling, pairing something you need to do with something you already enjoy. Listen to your favorite podcast while exercising. Light a candle only when you sit down to journal. Pleasure becomes the subtle driver of behavior. When a habit feels rewarding, your brain seeks it naturally, even on days motivation falters. Attraction transforms obligation into desire. Consistency, in turn, becomes effortless. The science is clear. Behavior is not just about willpower. It is about design. Make the good habit enjoyable, and the habit begins to work for you. Small, intentional pleasures compound into momentum, shaping identity and unlocking transformation that is quiet, steady, and lasting. Breaking a habit isn't about fighting desire with willpower, it's about raising the barrier. James Clear emphasizes that to stop harmful behaviors, we must make them inconvenient, unattractive, and unsatisfying. Delete distracting apps. Move unhealthy snacks out of reach. Add extra steps between yourself and temptation. Each layer of friction reduces the habit's power. The more effort required, the less likely your brain will follow old impulses. Self-control, often fleeting, becomes unnecessary when your environment subtly guides your behavior. Difficulty is not punishment, it is protection. It shields your future self from impulsive choices and preserves the path you truly want to follow. By designing friction, you turn the landscape of your daily life into a silent ally, steering habits toward growth and away from harm, quietly, reliably, and sustainably. Progress rarely announces itself with fanfare. We expect immediate results, but habits grow quietly, almost invisibly, beneath the surface. James Clear calls this the plateau of latent potential, a stage where effort feels fruitless and results seem absent. Yet beneath the calm, change is accumulating. Systems are aligning. Skills are sharpening. Character is building. Then, seemingly overnight, the curve rises. Breakthroughs appear sudden, but they are the product of hidden, consistent effort. Habits demand patience. What feels like stagnation is often silent preparation, the unseen work that compounds over time. Trust in repetition. Trust in small actions. Trust that each choice, though invisible today, is laying the foundation for tomorrow's transformation. Persistence becomes your ally, and consistency your invisible superpower. Humans are wired to imitate. The people around us quietly guide our behaviors, often more than we realize. James Clear highlights 3 layers of influence: the close, friends, family, those you interact with daily; the many, societal norms, cultural expectations, and shared routines; the powerful, mentors, role models, and those whose achievements inspire us. Your habits are contagious. Identity is social. The people you spend time with either reinforce the person you want to become or pull you away from it. Clear emphasizes that change accelerates when you enter communities where your desired behaviors are normal, where your habits are mirrored, encouraged, and celebrated. Choose your circle deliberately. Surround yourself with people who embody the identity you aspire to, and your actions will naturally align with the life you wish to create. Your environment, including the social one, silently sculpts your potential. Goals point you toward a destination, but they do not carry you there. Systems, the repeated routines and processes, are what drive progress day after day. Anyone can set a goal, run a marathon, write a book, save money. But few design the habits, rituals, and structures that make success inevitable. A goal is the finish line. A system is the journey. And it is the journey, the daily choices and routines, that ultimately shapes who you become. James Clear reminds us that lasting achievement is rarely the result of bursts of intensity or rare inspiration. It is the accumulation of consistent, well-designed systems that guide behavior, reduce friction, and keep you moving forward, even when motivation fades. Focus on your systems. Fine-tune your routines. Let the habits you practice daily carry you toward the results your goals describe. With the right system, transformation is inevitable. At its core, Atomic Habits is a guide to transformation through small, deliberate actions. James Clear reveals that who we are shapes what we do. Our environment shapes what we achieve, and the systems we create sustain progress over time. Change doesn't require sudden breakthroughs or perfection. It demands consistent, intentional effort, a single choice repeated day after day. Every habit is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every small win compounds, quietly reshaping identity, reinforcing behavior, and unlocking results that once felt impossible. Transformation is patient, subtle, and powerful. Tiny habits build momentum. Simple systems direct action. Environment guides decision. Identity emerges through repetition. In the end, consistent small choices accumulate into extraordinary outcomes. A life quietly rebuilt, one action at a time. Thank you for listening with the Audiobook Chamber. Today, we uncovered the transformative power of small habits, the quiet forces that shape identity, guide choices, and compound into remarkable results. Atomic change doesn't require intensity or perfection. It begins with one deliberate action, repeated consistently. Each step is a vote for the person you wish to become. Each day is an opportunity to build momentum that carries you forward. If this journey inspired clarity or purpose, explore our other audiobooks across mind, wealth, power, and personal mastery. Let the systems you create today quietly build the life you imagine tomorrow. Until next time, true wealth begins in the mind.